Hello. In this video, we will discuss accumulating totals and the return statement. First, let's discuss how data step works. So, first, if you submit a data step to run, first, SAS will scan the code to get the list of variables and set all variables in the program data vector as missing. Program data vector, so you can just think this as a memory in your computer. So then SAS will read one observation from the existing dataset, run all statements in order, update the program data vector accordingly, and write the value in program data vector to the output dataset. And then after that, SAS will set all values in the program data vector as missing and read the next observation from the existing dataset and so on. So SAS will keep doing that until finishing all observations in the existing dataset. So let's try to explain this using this example. Look at this piece of code. So this is the example we discussed before. Okay, and so we want to create a new dataset, so called blood new. So we start from a existing dataset, so called blood. Yeah. So on this part, just assume so those are all the contents in the existing dataset. So then we define some new variables called AVE and called high and called selected. So create three new variables. Well, so what SAS do? So first, after SAS scan this piece of code, of course, so SAS will check syntax first, right? And after that, so SAS will just create a list of variables involved in this piece of code. Yeah, so just suppose this part will be the program data vector. So SAS will get a list of variables. Well, we have patient, we have gender, we have systolic, we have diastolic, and so then we have AVE, we have high, and so we have selected. Yeah, in fact, so according to those variables, and SAS will create some extra automatic variable. Yeah, but we will not mention those here, and so we will basically discuss those later. Well, so this part, let me highlight it. Okay, so this just will be the called the program, so data vector, right? And so then SAS will decide so where to write the output dataset, and so we'll get the list. I mean the name for what the output dataset. So then we will have patient, we will have gender, we will have systolic, and we have diastolic, we have AVE, and we have high, we have selected. Okay, yeah. So then everything is ready. So then SAS will begin to work. Okay, so let me highlight it. Okay, so SAS will first go through this line. So this is select observation. Select blood. So SAS will read the first row from the existing. In the beginning, so SAS will set all the value as missing. See, I just write a dot, right? Set all the value as missing in the program data vector. So then the SAS begin to read the data from the existing dataset. Well, and so for those value, so then SAS will write the value to the program data vector. Yeah, so for the patient, so the value will be CK, and the gender is M, systolic is 120, diastolic is 50. Okay, so then SAS will run this average, right? So this average, so will be the average of the systolic and diastolic. So this will be like, so this guy plus this one divided by 2, right? SAS then high according to the value. So now systolic is not, if you do this comparison, systolic is smaller than 140 and the diastolic is also smaller than that. So the value of high will be F, and so selected, so will be 0, right? So then SAS goes through this piece of code and go to the end. Well, so after SAS exhaust so all the statement, right? So then SAS will write so everything in the program data vector to the output data, right? So SAS will begin to write one line, okay, 85, and so then F and 0. Then after that, SAS will erase everything here and so set the value as missing. So then just go to the next round. Okay, so SAS will continue to read the next observation from the existing data set. Yeah, so then the patient will be CP and gender F, systolic 120. So this is 75. This will be the average of systolic and diastolic. High will be F, and so this will be 0, right? So then SAS goes through those steps again, and so then we will write, SAS will write everything in this program vector to the output data, right? Okay, and 75, 97.5, F and 0. Well, so then after writing the value, so SAS will remove everything in the program data vector and will set the value as missing, right? So this is how, well, of course, then SAS will continue to read the third row and so then update value in the program data vector. After that, write the value to output. Yeah, so SAS repeat those procedure until SAS will go through, every observation in the existing data set. Yeah, so this is how SAS works. This is a procedure, but it also causes some issue when we process data. So one major issue is, so basically every time when SAS process the data, SAS will only see one observation in the existing data set, right? So basically it will be very difficult for us. So if you want to get the value from the previous observation. In fact, we can do, right? Yeah, but SAS provides some special function to handle that. Today, so we just mentioned some simple scenario. Yeah, so for example, so if you want to calculate a cumulative total, right? So SAS provide a expression can do that automatically. Yeah, and so then we will also discuss so how to use the return statement to return the value of a variable in data step. Okay, so the first one is accumulating total. So this is the syntax for accumulating total, right? So variable, so this is just name of the variable, so then plus expression. So notice there is no equal sign, okay? So what SAS do is, so this variable, for this variable, so the value will be set as 0 in the beginning. So see, as we explained here, right? So every time, so by default, so SAS will set the value as missing, right? So when before SAS reading observations, yeah. But so in here, yeah. So the value is instead of missing, the value will be set as 0, okay? And so then SAS just every time, so SAS read one observation, then SAS will evaluate this expression and will add the value to this variable. Yeah, so by this way, we will be able to get the accumulating total. Yeah, so let's show you an example. So let's look at this example, right? So let me copy paste this one to here. Yeah, so it is here. Maybe before we run this one, so let me first show you the contents in this data set. We use print SAS help.by run, right? So this is how the data looks like. So this one, so we have 2 columns, right? 2 variables. So the first one is data, and the next one is amount. Just maybe some dollar value, right? Yeah. So those are amount. What we do is, well, you can see, so this is the accumulating total, right? So basically we will define a new variable, so called cum sum, right? So then SAS will keep adding the value of the amount to this variable. Yeah, so let's run this one. Okay, you can see in the beginning, so this value just equal to this amount, right? And so then the second value, so this is just the first value of the amount plus the second, right? And so the third value of the Q sum just will be the sum of the amount from the first, second, and the third value, right? So basically, we just get the cumulative sum of one variable. Yeah, so this is for this one, just accumulating total, right? Yeah, of course. So this one only applies to a numerical variable. This statement just says, so if the procedure so contains a missing value and the sum statement will ignore it. I think so we will mention this comment in a while. Yeah. Okay. So what is a return statement? So return statement so has two different purposes to use, right? So the first one is just assign a initial value to a returned variable. Yeah, so the next one just prevent a variable from being initialized each time the data step executes. So this is usually so how we do like that, right? So we say return, so the name of the variable, so then you put the initial value, right? For example, so we can combine the return with this accumulating total, right? So like this one. This statement is very similar to the previous one, but we have just one extra statement. Yeah, so this is called a return statement, right? So we say return cum sum, then 200,000. Well, so with this one, so basically we just set the initial value of this one as 200,000, right? Yeah, because for the first piece of code, so by default, SAS will set the initial value as 0, right? So let's see so how it works. Yeah, so then we run this one. You can see, yeah, because the cum sum so initial value is 200,000, right? Yeah, so so after we read the first row, okay, so then basically we use 200,000 to subtract so this value amount, and so then this is just like the remaining balance for this account, right? So then after we read the second value of amount, so this value just add or maybe subtract, right? So from the previous value, so then we got 89,000. Yeah, so just keep doing that. Just keep adding those value to the current value of cum sum. And maybe we can use let me use Excel just to try to explain this. So hopefully this will be easier, right? I mean, will be easier to understand. So suppose we have a PDV, right? Because here, so we have date, we have amount, right? So then we have cum sum, okay? Yeah, so this part is the program data vector, right? Well, so in the beginning, so SAS will set them as missing. Yeah, because we have the statement return, right? Yeah, so what SAS do is, well, so in the beginning, so this value will be set as this guy, 200,000. Okay, yeah, and so then SAS will read the first value here, will read the second value here, and so then we have that statement, so that says basically the cum sum add amount, right? So we add the value of amount to this cum sum, okay? Yeah, so then this just will becomes 89,000. Okay, right? So then SAS will write this value to output. Yeah, so suppose so this is output, right? Yeah, SAS will write this value here, write this value here, this value here. Okay, so then before SAS process the next observation, SAS will set those value as missing. Yeah, because we have the return statement to tell SAS, so do not set the value of cube sum to missing. So basically this value still remain here. So then SAS just read the second row. Okay, so read the second row, and so then basically add this value to cube sum, right? So then, since I have too many zero, yeah, so should be like that. Okay. So then SAS will add this money, so not money, I mean add this value to cube sum, right? So this just becomes 88,000. Right, yeah. So then SAS write this value to output, this value to output, and this value to output, and SAS will keep going on. Yeah. So this is how it works. Okay. Yeah. So this is how it works. Well, so let's read through the following comments. So it is a compare time only statement that creates variables if they do not already exist. Okay, so it initializes the returned variable to missing before the first executing the data step if you do not supply a initial value. Yeah, so this is if you specify a initial value, so that will be initial value. Yeah, so otherwise it will be missing. So it has no effect on variables that are read with set, merge, update statement. Yeah, so the reason is, so for those variable, I mean, they cannot be returned. Yeah, so because this variable so must be a new variable. Yeah, so must be a new variable, right? See, this is a compare time only that create variable. So if they do not already exist, yeah, so this must be a new variable. So let's just try to give a application of the return statement. Yeah, just suppose our data looks like that. So we have two variables, a month and a balance, right? So notice there's a missing value. Yeah, so in the application, so basically someone, okay, so we'll just input the value of balance basically for every month, right? Yeah, and so if the balance is unchanged, so then he just put a missing here. But this is not what we want, right? So what we want is, well, so if it is missing, so we just want to fill in the balance. Yeah, so basically just will be the previous balance. Yeah, because the balance is unchanged, right? So then we can do the code in this way. So we tell SAS, basically we will create a new variable so called balance updated, right? Yeah, so if not missing, so then the balance will be the value of balance. Let's just try to explain this piece of code let's just using here. Okay, so basically we have so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, so we have 100, we have 100. This one we have missing, we have 90, and we have missing. Okay. Yeah, so this is our data. Yeah, so let me add the variables of months. So this is balance, right? So according to that piece of code, so the program data vector so will be like that. So of course we have months, we have balance, and so we have another one called balance updated, right? Okay, so this part, so this is the program data vector. Yeah, so the output data, so we will have months, we will have a balance, and we will have a balance updated. Okay, so in the beginning, so SAS will set everything as missing. So here, and so look at the code. So we have not this one. we have the return statement. Basically, we specify this variable should be returned, but we didn't specify a missing value here. So then in the beginning, so the value of balance updated, so will be missing. So then SAS just read the first line, first observation in the existing data set. We also then so then the code just says, yeah, let me maybe copy the code here. So it just says, well, so if not missing, just means if the value of balance is not missing, so the balance updated will be balanced, right? So clearly, well, so this is not missing, well, so then we update the value to, we set balance updated to, equal to balance. Yeah, so then SAS will write the value to the output. Okay, so then, well, so this is done, right? Well, so then SAS will set those value as missing, basically get ready to read the next observation. Because we have a return statement for balance updated, right? So then the value here so will not be erased, and so SAS just keep the current value there. So SAS reads the second row. Oh, sorry, this should be 100. Then SAS reads the second row. Okay, so the value will be 2. Oh, sorry, will be 2 and will be 110. Well, so then the value of this one is not missing, right? Well, so SAS equals set this equal to balance. Yeah, so then SAS will write 2, 110, and 110. Seems I may make a mistake and get you confused. Sorry, so let me maybe repeat this again. Yeah, because in the beginning, it is missing, right? Okay, so then SAS read the first row, so because this is 1, this is 100, right? So the value of missing, the value of balance is not missing, so balance updated is equal to the value of balance. Yeah, so we have 100. So we have 1, 100, 100. So then SAS erase the value and set these two values as missing. Yeah, but for balance updated, so this is SAS just leave it there. Yeah, because we have return statement, right? So tell SAS to do in this way. So then SAS read the second row. Okay, so then we have 2, we have 110. So now see the value of balance is not missing. Okay, so then we keep these two. So balance updated equals balance, right? So we have 110. Okay, so then SAS will write these two output. So then SAS will delete the value and set this as missing. Okay, so then read the third row. So then SAS will have 3. So this will be missing. Well, see, if not missing, SAS will run that, right? Yeah, because this is missing. So then SAS do not update the value of balance updated. Okay, so then SAS just write this to the output. Okay, so then SAS remove everything, keep this, set this as missing. So then read the fourth observation. So we have 4, we have missing. So well, the value of balance is missing, right? So then for this if, so this is false. So basically we skip this line. So do not update the value of balance updated. Yeah, so SAS will just keep writing this row to the output. So then SAS set this as missing. Okay, so get ready for the next observation. So then we read the 5th row, right? So the value will be 5, will be 90. Okay. So now, so if not missing, well, so the balance, right? So the value is not missing. Yeah, so then SAS will update, so we'll do, so the balance updated equal to the value of balance. So then we have 90 here. Yeah, so then we will have 5, 90, and 90, right? So then SAS keep going on. So set those two values as missing. So read the last observation, right? So then this is 6 and missing. Okay, so for the if statement, so this is false. So SAS will not update the value of balance updated. Yeah, so then SAS in the end, so SAS write the last row to the output, and so then this is our output. Yeah, so SAS finished the data step. Okay, right, so let's try to see this example. Let's see this example, right? Okay, right, so this is the output. So this is the same as what I explained in here. Okay, yeah, I think so. Hopefully after this example, so you understand so how basically how this balance, I mean how this return statement works. Okay, so in the last slide, so basically I just want to show you well, so with the return statement, right? So then we can write some code so that behave similar as the accumulating total. Yeah, so see, this is the first piece of code, right? So then basically we just do the accumulating total for variable y. So for the second piece of code, yeah, so maybe we run the first piece of code first. So this is data, right? So then we do the accumulating total, right? You can see, so the cum sum, right? So then we just, this will be the accumulative total, so of variable y. This part, so basically we just try to basically try to do the same thing as the accumulating total. Of course, so this may not be necessary, yeah, but it will be helpful for us to basically to understand so how the return statement works. Yeah, so let me run, see, for return, right? So basically I just set the initial value of this cum sum as 0. Yeah, so basically every time, so I just add the value of y to cum sum. Yeah, so it looks like we try to compute the cumulative sum, right? So if you check the output, so you may notice a difference. So the difference is, we also see the issue just, so this is there is a missing value in y, right? Yeah, but when we use the accumulating total, so for those missing values, so when we do the summation, so SAS will automatically ignore those missing value when we do summation. Yeah, but for here, in the second piece of code, so we do not do that. So what I mean is, so even when the value of missing, right? So missing value will be tried to add to cum sum. Yeah, but so any value plus a missing value, so the result will be a missing value. Yeah, so this is why starting from here, so then the result will be missing. Okay, so if, in fact, if you modify the second piece of code slightly, so it can produce the same output as the first piece of code. So can you do that? Yeah, so try to think of it. So this will be leave as a exercise, and so we will explain that in lab. Okay. Yeah, so this one of these basically is a accumulating total, so can ignore missing value. So this is just the comments we mentioned here, right? So if the expression produce a missing value, the sum statement ignores it. Okay. Well, so try to modify the second piece of code and to make it produce the same output as the first source code. Okay. That's the end of this video.